What if I told you that the most emotional, painful, and unforgettable chapter of The Chosen is finally closer than ever? And this time, nothing will hold back the truth. The official Crucifixion teaser for Season 6 has just revealed moments that are not only powerful, but almost impossible to watch. And once you see what's coming, you'll realize, this season is going to change everything. The newly released Crucifixion teaser for Season 6 of The Chosen does not waste a single second before pulling us into a heavy and intense atmosphere that feels completely different from anything we've seen before. From the very beginning, there is a sense that something irreversible has already been set in motion. The tone is darker, slower, and filled with tension, as if every moment is leading toward a fate that cannot be avoided. What makes this teaser so powerful is not just what it shows, but what it makes us feel. There is a deep emotional weight carried in every frame, reminding us that this is not just another chapter in the story, but the beginning of its most painful turning point. We are no longer watching miracles, teachings, or hopeful gatherings. This time, we are stepping into betrayal, suffering, and sacrifice. As the teaser unfolds, we begin to understand that the story is now centered around the consequences of everything that has happened so far. The journey that started with hope and faith is now facing its greatest test. You can feel that the characters themselves are no longer standing on solid ground. There is uncertainty, fear, and a growing sense of helplessness. And at the center of it all is Jesus, whose calm and silent strength becomes even more powerful in contrast to the chaos surrounding him. What makes this portrayal so impactful is how quiet it is. Instead of loud dramatic moments, the teaser focuses on expressions, pauses, and the emotional weight carried by every character. It makes you realize that sometimes silence can be more powerful than words. Another important aspect that stands out in this teaser is how it builds tension without revealing too much. It gives just enough glimpses to make you understand what is coming, but it never fully shows it. This creates a feeling of suspense that keeps you completely hooked. You know the story, you know where it leads, but the way it is presented here makes it feel new, unpredictable, and deeply personal. It is not just about historical events anymore. It feels like a human story filled with pain, doubt, and difficult choices. And that is exactly what makes it so hard to look away from. At the same time, the teaser reminds us of the emotional connection we have built with these characters over the seasons. We have seen their faith grow, their struggles, their loyalty, and their love. And now, watching them face this dark chapter feels almost overwhelming. There is a strong sense that everything they believed in is about to be tested in the most brutal way possible. The teaser does not need to explain this directly. You can feel it in the atmosphere, in the way the scenes are presented, and in the silence that surrounds them. What truly makes this teaser unforgettable is how it prepares the audience emotionally. It is not trying to shock you with sudden moments. Instead, it slowly builds a feeling of inevitability. You start to realize that this season will not just be watched, it will be experienced. It will challenge emotions, test patience, and perhaps even leave viewers speechless at times. And that is exactly why the Crucifixion teaser stands out so much. It is not just promoting a season. It is warning the audience that what's coming will be unlike anything they have seen before. And this is only the beginning. Because what the teaser hints at is just a small glimpse of a story that is about to reach its most intense and heartbreaking moment. As the Crucifixion teaser for The Chosen continues, the emotional pressure begins to rise in a way that feels almost overwhelming. There is a clear shift from anticipation to confrontation, as the story moves closer to the moment where everything begins to fall apart. What makes this part of the teaser so powerful is how it captures the feeling of inevitability. You can sense that the events unfolding are no longer avoidable, and every second that passes brings the characters closer to a fate they cannot escape. This creates a deep sense of tension that stays with you, making it impossible to look away even for a moment. One of the most striking elements here is how the teaser reflects the inner struggles of the characters without needing long explanations. You can feel the fear, confusion, and heartbreak building within them. These are not just followers anymore. They are people who are about to witness something they never imagined. The emotional weight they carry becomes almost tangible, and it adds a layer of realism that makes the story even more intense. It feels as if everything they once believed to be certain is now being questioned, and and that uncertainty creates a powerful connection with the audience. At the center of all this is Jesus, portrayed once again with a calmness that feels almost beyond human understanding. Even as the tension grows and the situation becomes more severe, there is no sign of panic or resistance in him. Instead, there is a quiet strength that makes his presence even more powerful. This contrast between his calmness and the chaos around him is what makes these moments so unforgettable. It shows a level of acceptance that is both inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. You begin to understand that he is fully aware of what is coming, and yet he chooses to face it without hesitation. The teaser also hints at the growing hostility from those in power, and this adds another layer of intensity to the story. There is a sense that decisions are being made behind closed doors, and those decisions will have devastating consequences. The atmosphere becomes heavier with every passing moment, as if the entire world around these characters is slowly closing in on them. This feeling of being trapped within an unstoppable chain of events is what makes the teaser so gripping. It keeps you on edge, knowing that something significant is about to happen, but not revealing exactly how it will unfold. Another important detail is how the pacing of the teaser changes during this section. It becomes more deliberate, more focused, allowing each moment to sink in deeply. Instead of rushing through events, it takes its time, letting the emotions build naturally. This slower pace makes everything feel more real and more impactful. It gives the audience time to process what is happening, and at the same time, it increases the sense of dread. Because with every quiet moment, you know that something even more intense is about to follow. What truly stands out here is the emotional connection that continues to grow stronger. By this point, it is no longer just about watching a story unfold. It feels like you are experiencing it alongside the characters. Their fear becomes your fear, their confusion becomes your confusion, and their pain becomes something you can almost feel. This is what makes the teaser so effective. It does not rely on dramatic visuals alone. It builds its impact through emotion, atmosphere, and the deep connection it creates with the audience. And as this section comes to an end, one thing becomes very clear. The story is moving toward a moment that will change everything forever. The calm before the storm is slowly fading, and what lies ahead will be far more intense than anything we have seen so far. As the Crucifixion teaser for The Chosen moves forward, the tension reaches a level where it no longer feels distant. It feels immediate and unavoidable. This is the point where the emotional weight of the story becomes almost too heavy to ignore. Everything that was slowly building in the earlier moments now begins to take shape in a much more direct and painful way. There is a strong sense that the story has crossed a line, and from here, there is no turning back. The atmosphere becomes even darker, and every moment feels like it carries the weight of what is about to happen next. What makes this part especially powerful is how it focuses on the reactions of the people surrounding Jesus. You can feel their fear growing stronger, their hope starting to fade, and their confusion turning into quiet desperation. These are individuals who believed they were part of something extraordinary, something filled with purpose and promise. But now, they are being forced to face a reality that does not match their expectations. This emotional conflict creates a deep sense of sadness, because you can clearly see that they are not ready for what is coming. And yet, there is nothing they can do to stop it. At the same time, the teaser continues to highlight the calm and steady presence of Jesus in a way that feels even more impactful than before. While everything around him seems to be falling apart, he remains composed, almost as if he is carrying a truth that no one else fully understands yet. This contrast becomes even more striking in this section. It is no longer just about calmness. It feels like acceptance, like a silent acknowledgement of a path that must be followed no matter how painful it may be. And this realization makes every moment involving him even more emotional, because you begin to understand the depth of what he is willingly facing. Another key element in this part of the teaser is the growing intensity of the situation itself. There is a clear shift toward confrontation, where the tension is no longer hidden beneath the surface. It begins to show itself more openly, creating moments that feel sharp, uncomfortable, and deeply emotional. You can sense that the decisions being made are becoming final, and the consequences of those decisions are now impossible to avoid. This creates a feeling of urgency that keeps building, making it clear that the story is approaching one of its most critical turning points. The pacing here also plays a very important role. The teaser carefully balances between slower, emotional moments and more intense, dramatic shifts. This creates a rhythm that keeps the audience fully engaged. Just when you begin to process one moment, another one follows that pulls you even deeper into the story. It feels almost like a wave of emotion that continues to rise, never giving you a chance to fully recover. And this is exactly what makes it so effective. It keeps you connected, focused, and emotionally invested from start to finish. What truly stands out in this section is the sense of inevitability that becomes stronger than ever before. By now, it is clear that the story is moving toward a moment that cannot be changed. There are no more doubts about what is coming, only the realization that it is getting closer with every passing second. This realization brings with it a deep emotional impact, because you know that the most difficult moments are still ahead. And yet, you cannot look away. As this part of the teaser comes to an end, it leaves behind a powerful feeling of anticipation mixed with fear. You are no longer just waiting to see what happens. You are preparing yourself for it. Because everything you have seen so far is leading to something much bigger, something far more emotional, and something that will stay with you long after it is over.